Hey everyone, so right now I'm working on a Discord bot. And what does it do? Well, it tracks how many hours you're in a voice channel for. And the point of that is because right now I'm maintaining a study Discord server. And in that server, I wanted it to track how many hours people are studying for the day. So if they study, they go into a voice channel and it tracks how many hours they're studying for. And then I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, and I had it so that at certain hour thresholds they get a certain rank. So if they study for 10 hours, they get the baby rank. If they study for 30 hours, they get the novice rank, and so on and so forth. And this goes on for around 4 months. After 4 months, I manually reset everything so the stats go back to zero, and all these ranks disappear except for the slacker rank. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to automate this. I don't want to go through every single role and remove everything myself because there's quite a bit of people. So I wanted a bot to do it for me. So this is the point of this video. I'm gonna automate taking away all the roles from a server, and these are only going to be roles that you specify. So I don't want to get rid of the admin role. I just want to get rid of the slacker up to the grandmaster role because these are roles I specify. So I'll show you my code that specifies roles that you remove from the whole entire server. So let's take a look at this. And I kind of did a test one already, but I want you to take a look at the colors of these guys over here. So let's run the script. So right now it's running and is currently getting rid of all of these roles. So starting with cow here, getting rid of that, and then I think it's gonna go to beef, and yeah, it's just slowly going through all of these, automating everything. And I kind of wanted to show you of all the roles getting removed, but I also have a portion where it removes all of these and then it adds back the slacker role because that's kind of what I want. All right, so let's get into the code. So right now I'm using Discord.js version 12, but this will also work on Discord.js version 13 and 14 as well. So what's important here is this array of arrays that I have here. And this array of arrays is going to specify what roles you want to get removed. So if you don't specify it here, then that role won't be removed, which is pretty neat. And what's important here, so you don't have to worry about all these other stuff, but what's important here is a role name as well as a role ID. So this is going to be role ID. I didn't put it in here because I didn't want my server or anything to be hacked. But this is what's important, and this is what we're going to be interacting with. So this is all we're calling to start the script, the handle roles function. This is the bottom of the script, this is the top of the script, so this is just the same script. So this handle roles function is what's actually going to be, is a promise that's actually going to be running, removing all the roles and stuff like that. And this one was a little bit more difficult for me because it's utilizing the API, rate limiting API service, and I had to use promises to interact with the API. So I had to use a little bit of I had to use functions that would delay the script by a few seconds, so that it doesn't put too much onto the API or the Discord API. Because if it's too much and the script gets rid of all the roles right at once, then Discord.js will be like, nope, I don't want anything to do with this because it's too fast, and then after that it'll rate limit you, or your roles won't be removed. So let's take a look at this handle roles function. So here it is. Okay. So basically, this handle roles function you have to put in your guild data and your user data. This user data is a JSON file of all the data of the users of my Discord server, and the guild is just a cache get of the guild. And then after this is done, then it'll log in finished, and then it'll destroy the client. So let's take a look at this function. So this is a chain function. So I use a loop here to chain then promises instead of actually doing it manually. So this took me quite a while to figure out, just because there's not a lot of information on chaining promises with loops. But basically what I'm doing is I'm going through every user of my user data JSON file. So the user data JSON file has an array of objects or user objects. So we're going through every user object. We're seeing if a member exists. So in the user object, each user has a user ID. And you can get this from the actual Discord API. But it's checking if the member exists. If it does exist, then we're going to loop and make chained promises. So this promise will invoke this promise, get user promise. So get user promise, and this will return another promise, or this will invoke another promise, which is the remove roles. So notice how I put in the member. So this member is this gotten from the user ID. So we got the member, and we're passing it through the get user promise. Okay. So now this, so now we pass it into this get user promise, and this is passed into the remove roles promise. So we still have our member here, and we're going to the remove roles. So this remove roles is going to remove all the roles of a user or a member. So that's why this member is important here. And so we make another chain promise. So we make another chain promise to remove all the roles of a user. So remove role. So this this invokes another function over here, this guy, and this guy will actually remove the role. So member.roles.remove role is the Discord method that will remove the role here. And this chain promise will remove every single role of a user, whereas this chain promise will cycle through each user itself. So this will only, let me see how I can phrase this. So you get a user, and only when everything in that promise is done will it cycle to the next user. And that goes to here, and it'll say only when all the roles are finished will it actually start this guy. So that's why we need everything in sequence here. That's why we need chain promises here and here, just so that things don't happen simultaneously and really just mess up the script right away. So then we remove the role, and so because of the rate limiting service of the Discord API, we need to make these happen slower or slowly, so we need delays. And that's why I have the wait commands, or the wait function. So this first wait will wait 1 second, wait more will wait 10 seconds. And so after the chain promise, so after each role remove, I'm going to wait 1 second, and after each user, I'm going to wait 10 seconds. So this will help with that rate limiting API. And yeah, so that's pretty much all of the code for that. And this was a pretty interesting experience for me, because I'm not really familiar, or I'm not really good with using promises and callbacks and .thens and stuff like that. So this was really neat to work on. Oops.